Welcome. These will be my thoughts on Hit Monkey, Season 1, Episode 5, Run Monkey Run. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be. There will be spoilers for the episode itself and the ones leading up to it. And another episode that I absolutely loved. That makes all of them so far. So let's see, there was at least one thing I wanted to make sure to say before. Right, I definitely wanted to say that if you haven't already watched Film Speak talk about, uh, yeah, Blade, the movie, being cancelled, yeah, that's a really excellent video, one of my favorites of his in some time. And I think that does just, yeah, right. I also just, I don't know, maybe I mention too often, but another really excellent Okie Dokie video, and the one she did with Cat Tenbarge, where they talk about the outcome of the entire It Ends With Us related, the case there, or cases, I suppose, at this point. And I think that, yeah, so let's get into the chronological. So, and I also just want to say this is one of my favorite, I think this might be my favorite episode so far. And this one continues the, that was the thing I completely forgot to mention in my video on the 4th episode, because, I noted in my video on the first episode that the teaser told us that there would be like superpowers, and yeah, episode 4 delivered the first of those with Fat Cobra, and then this one has Yuki. So yeah, awesome, absolutely love to see it. And I think, if I'm recalling correctly, I think this one starts with Monkey getting the new suit. They're being measured for the new suit. And the yeah, it was fun seeing the picture Bryce got back when he first got the yeah, um his suit and had his picture taken. And the let's see, yeah, Monkey leaves, and then, oh wait, no, maybe we already, well, whatever, maybe I'm mixing up the order, but around here we also get the high tape engaging in more monkey wick business, and I'm here for it. Yeah, 150 million yen. That is, yeah, and yeah, we meet the skeptic, the rooster, introduced with a rooster. I forget what it's called, but the, yeah, making the noise that they're, and the wise guy. Sorry, wise man. And yeah, very nicely done. I love the fact that by the end of this episode, several of these important figures are dead, but now Rooster knows they're coming. So that's going to make it more difficult to, and I don't know what he's even going to do. He's going to have to get creative. Did he get arrested? I was a little bit unclear on if he actually got, because the cops, I wouldn't rule out that he got arrested, and I suppose it's possible that they'll have to find him in prison or something, although that might be a little too similar to the other one. Can he get protective custody and they have to track him down? But once again, they're doing a great job doing these, gradual, like, we're getting towards the, like, they still need to find out, the well, let's see. I guess Bryce primarily wants Rooster dead, and to some extent Monkey does as well, because this is why, was Rooster's decision that ended up getting his tribe killed. But the is that what a group of monkeys is called? Now that I think about it, I actually don't know what you call that large of a group of monkeys. I figure it would be too ironic if it was called a murder, so I don't think that's the one. And let's see. think that does bring us. And I think he was the one at the funeral where we heard the voice but didn't see the face, because I seem to recognize the voice. And they did a similar trick of, you hear the voice before you see the face, and they haven't really. I don't think they've done that with any other character where it's like, wait, who is that on this show? Now, let's see. Usually we see their face. We don't necessarily get the name immediately, but we'll see their face. And yeah, the thing with like, my nephew has been put in the hospital twice now by this monkey, and he's like, "Hi," because it's not exactly a badge of honor, And then he's like, "He used to be a ladies' man. Now he's useless. Why don't you tell us what you really think?" And yeah, so they put out this bounty to everyone, and I love the montage of these introductions. The fucking influencer who's like constantly streaming his crimes, and the poacher was also the just like I understand the idea that if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. I think there's certain cases where taking it as far as the poacher does here, it's just bad taste, And I think that does bring us to the but yeah, really great job on throughout the episode. He's constantly being attacked, and I thought they did a good job of choosing when to have action and when to just, like, for example, show Bryce reacting to whatever Monkey's doing, or otherwise having it off screen. That kind of thing can sometimes feel like a cost-cutting measure, and I suppose I can't rule out that it might have been at least partially that here, but it never felt like, oh, this is kind of cheap, to me at least. It's the kind of thing of, like, because there are that many attacks, like, the episode would literally be nothing but action scenes if we saw all of them. It would end up numbing. And instead, we just... and it also just works as fun, joke sight gags, seeing Bryce be like, what the fuck is Monkey doing in the train? And I think that is when the... Yeah, so yeah, Monkey first is attacked by someone throwing shuriken, and Bryce can't quite make up his mind if this is a real ninja or not. And the yeah, it was super cool, the thing of like trying to run Monkey over on a motorcycle, and he like leaps through the window and just decapitates the fucker. Like, holy shit. And the thing about, like, oh, that's going to cost them a couple of Michelin stars. Good service, tasty food, chef was an asshole, too much murder. And let's see, I think that does bring us to the... yeah, that was also very funny that, so the thing about, like, I'll take you to the best sushi place while we're on a roll. Puns. He's got puns. I have competition. And yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that Bryce likes killing time as much as people. Still got it. And let's see, the thing with, like, okay, now swipe, no, swipe. Oh my god, toddlers know how to do this. I don't think that's a good thing, though, But yeah, and they do find it, and he's like, okay, shut up, I'm trying to do math. Oh shit, that's a big bounty. I mean, I've seen bigger, and there have been bigger bounties on me, obviously, and once again, by the end of the episode, he realizes he has to be vulnerable. He has to be honest with Monkey for things to work out. Really enjoying that. Like both of them are developing. You know, Monkey is finding his style. Last episode, he decided to, only kill killers. Yes, I'm perhaps gonna miss the sleeveless suit, but I also appreciate that suit was covered in shit. So, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like, you know, at some point something is just too, you know, too unpleasant to, you know, I don't know, maybe it can get a job in the Trump administration. But the suit, not Monkey. Monkey's above his yeah. Monkey deserves better. And let's see. I think that does bring us to so he yeah, it was great. The bit that it's around there that we have the so I'm afraid I still don't remember her name, but the Mun character, after another great campaign speech by Takai. Oh shit, sorry, it's Takei, isn't it? George Takei, sorry. Shit. I really should know that. I've known his name for 20 years now, so apologies. And yeah, the thing with the do you have any comment on the monkey? And he's like, no comment. And Mun is like, don't touch the monkey. You really should be worrying more about Ozu. And yeah, I mean, Takei's character is not wrong. This is risky. Defending a vigilante, accusing without definitive, like, I mean, they know, and we know that it's true, but they don't have evidence, accusing a politician of a death threat and, directing someone to try to carry it out. Or I suppose she didn't say that it was definitively at his direction, but still. And yeah, she points out, you didn't do anything to help me, and it is the classic politician thing. And yeah, the bit where they both see each other through the car window, and yeah, it is like, he's sitting there talking about, like, listen, your temper tantrums were a problem when you were a teenager, but now this is unacceptable. She's not gonna say, can we stop and get me the monkey? That's not gonna go over super well, And I think that's when we get the... Oh, right. It was also great, the bit... Right, I think it was right before the title screen, where we see all the shares of the bounty, all the different phones. Yeah. I mean, there were like dozens of them. That was really a cool, memorable visual. Not something you see every day. And I think that does pretty much bring us to... Right, I've... random Kingpin reference at the Taylors. Yeah. I mean, certainly if a suit is good enough for the fucking Kingpin, is good enough for you. Like, he has immaculate taste in that kind of thing, not when it comes to his crimes. And I think that's when... I feel like that's when we get the... is that maybe the... I'm struggling to recall which came first. I'll just do them, let's not worry about if this is the right order or not. But yeah, Monkey gets on the train and everyone's taking pictures of it, which, like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they know that, because, like, by this point, hasn't it already been in the news? Or was that later? And they're just like, that's so cool. Just, yeah. And yeah, some couple of guys come in, clear the train, except for Monkey. And another thing I really loved about this episode was the fact that, and Bryce calls this out early on, we should probably go home and make sure we have more to use here, because this is really risky. Everyone who is willing to kill a monkey for 150 mil yen is gonna try, and there's a lot of really talented ones, so and all he's got, is the sword. So and then that one guy in the train gets it from him with the chain. And yeah, it was really cool. Like we're hearing noises and hooting and such, and afterwards we just see some of all the blood spurt, and yeah, holy shit. Not your most subtle work if you're taking notes. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. And I think that is when he comes across the guard, that cop, I mean. And yeah, that was genuinely really well done, because like, of course, Monkey is just reacting to the fact that this is someone else who is trying to kill, yeah. I mean, Monkey's already really struggling with all this human culture stuff. The idea of like, no, okay, so this is someone who, yes, wants to kill you, yes, is Yakuza, but there's a reason why you shouldn't attack him. That's like, yeah, we understand why, but Monkey doesn't. And the gas does not help. And that was also a really, really cool shot. It's just like it jumps into all this, the gas cloud, and then we just see I think we hear the swing, and then we see the head flying towards the camera. Really fucking cool. And then the blood seeps into the ground, and tour guide is like, okay, so exposition time. I appreciate it. They got to get some kind of explanation, because if she doesn't say that, we're like, what the fuck is happening right now? But yeah, and the thing about like, okay, so this is the grave of someone who's defending Tokyo, and they have been foretold to return if exactly two puddles of blood stream across the screen of an animated show set in Tokyo that originate from a cop. And then, at first she's like, what the fuck? And then afterwards she's just like, okay, just, it's part of the show. Yeah, I mean, she has to say something. And I think that's when, yeah, so they do manage to get home. And then she blows it open. And yeah, it was great. The thing with, are you the one, killing all these people? And understandably, she attacks Bryce first, because like, who's gonna like, yeah, he's a ghost, but the alternative's the monkey. Like, yeah, he's wearing a suit, looks very smart, but or no, wait, yeah, shit, at this point he's not even wearing the suit. He gets that at the end of the episode, near the end of the episode. Anyway, yeah, the and then Bryce is like, no, it's or, no, wait, no, she realizes because the monkey attacks, and that was also really cool. And I appreciated that they, sometimes you'll have scenes, with a similar setup, but the ghost can't be hurt by traditional means. That can work, but here I'm glad that, no, the ghost can be, it's just, I mean, I don't know if it's possible to kill it again. Can you kill it before it dies again? Can you kill the undead? There's some debate on the subject. In, like, theory, obviously. The undead don't exist in real life. And, yeah, the fight, and then she's like, oh, you're the one. And then Bryce is like, no, come back, choke me again. I'm the, yeah, see, that's the thing about stuff like jealousy. Like he's literally like he clearly didn't enjoy it. It's not like his thing, although he did say it's nice to be touched again. Jesus fucking Christ. Have I said recently how much I love this show? And but yeah, you know, it's not that he like is into that. I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying, you know, some people are into that. Bryce doesn't appear to, but he's so fucking jealous. He just can't handle that everyone seems to hold Monkey in a higher regard. So he's like, no, come back, attack me again. Just yeah. And let's see. So they end up outside, and that's when the influencer, you know, tries to run over, and the oh right, that's also when we get the cops talking about, you know, the thing with you know, her drink of choice, and the alternative is pig shit. Sounds like she made the right choice. And the let's see. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say about that. Yeah, you have the thing with, you know, appearances can be deceiving. Yes, he was a cop, but he, his brother, and his father were Yakuza, you know. And yeah, and so the yellow car with the monkey on top drives past, and then they're told on the radio, there's a yellow car with a monkey on top. This is not a joke. You know, it's a good police report when you have to specify that you're being serious. And yeah, you know, he manages to get into a situation where the yeah, I know I'm a broken record on this, but it is something that I continue to be fond of when it appears, so I will continue praising it when I see it. I am of the opinion that if you are making a piece of action media that can sustain, you know, as far as like the concept, the budget, the amount of time you have, at least one scene on, in, or at least around a fast-moving vehicle, that will really greatly increase the tension. You know, part of it is just the fact that, I mean, one misstep and you don't just lose your footing, you know, it could, you know, you could end up dead from falling off a car driving that fast in this case. So yeah, very, very cool. Absolutely love to see it. And yeah, this thing of like, you know, Yuki is there trying to attack, and that, you know, and Bryce is in there like, I don't know, I mean, I could fight the ghost, but I guess you're in charge now, so I should just stay here. You know, also the part where he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. Bryce, my dude, I don't think making empty threats is going to get you anywhere with Monkey. I am of the opinion that you are physically incapable of shutting the fuck up for even a few seconds. You know, it's like that scene in Fargo, like, oh, okay, oh, we're just not gonna talk. Fine, I can stop talking too. We don't have to talk at all. You know, just like, and the let's see, I think that does bring us to the, yeah, and so, you know, the car does almost hit the cop, and Monkey makes sure that the, you know, to because yeah, you know, the cop is like, okay, you know, he's gonna stop the car because I'm a cop, and the guy's like, oh, this is gonna be sweet. I'm gonna get so many followers off this. See, sometimes I don't think the writers of the show have the highest opinion of at least certain people. That's yeah, and the yeah. So Monkey saves the cop's life. Yuki acknowledges she misjudged Monkey. And yeah, I agree. The road surf was very, very cool. And then the thing with like, it's like a dermatological. You know what? Never mind. Also the part with like, oh, you're gonna be a meme by the end of this train ride. You know what? Just be happy. You don't understand. Yeah, I listen. I love memes, but I don't think Monkey's missing out on a lot. Like I sometimes wish I didn't do, you know, read and watch meme content. Anyway, the let's see. I think, oh yeah, and that was also great. But 'cause like, you're gonna, everyone's gonna know where you are because of this train ride. Oh god damn it. And I think that does bring us. There's at least one more thing. Let me think. It was the. Let's see. Yeah. Well, where were we? Right. And so yeah, Yuki is like, listen, if you ever need a you know, if you ever need an ally, call upon Yuki. Just get rid of the sidekick. Bryce is just eating shit throughout this entire episode. God damn. Almost as much as the influencer did just a few seconds before this bit. And then he's like, okay, listen, I think we might just have to agree to disagree. But in my opinion, the animal is always going to be the sidekick, okay? It's like she was, and then he makes like a Lone Ranger reference, like, Jesus Christ. And, let's see. And yes, for the record, I know just enough about Lone Ranger from Cultural Osmosis to understand the reference. I just don't really have any further comment on it. And, but yeah, as if she was talking to, I want to say, the horse? Silver's the horse, right? And, yeah, I think that pretty much gets us to the... Yeah, and that's when the poacher gets, and he's like, so, as the poacher, I legally have to ask, can I poach him? Please. And, yeah, Bryce acknowledges that he's been jealous. It took him a long time to get this good, and he'll never be as good, I mean, certainly now that he's dead, as Monkey is in very little time. And, yeah, so that helps calm Monkey back down. And we're back to the room full of, the rooster and the others. And yeah, the skeptic has figured out the rooster is the one who broke the rules and is, responsible for the hit being called on Ken. And that got them into this whole mess. And I think that, so yeah, they're just about to shoot him and then, knock at the door. And, the guard is like, I don't fucking know, and then describes him as like, that's the poacher. And I will say I immediately knew, but they didn't spend many seconds revealing it. But as soon as you saw him standing there kind of weird, he's already dead, and Monkey is using him as a horse of the Trojan variety. And yeah, that was really cool. He jumped, Monkey jumps out, starts firing guns akimbo, and the nephew guy's like, not again, not again. Maybe third time's the charm. Have you ever thought about that? And Rooster does make it out, but is also stopped by the cop. And I think I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to make sure to say, but what was it? Right, genuinely great that so he gets the suit, and then the tailor is about to take down Bryce's picture, and we can kind of understand where he's coming from, because I wouldn't rule out that the news of Bryce's death has hit, because like this guy apparently knows that he works for criminals, so he's heard, Bryce is no more, and Monkey pulls a gun on the tailor, which, yeah, genuinely sweet. No, he didn't have to do that. It's not like Bryce could do anything other than annoy him, but yeah. And then the thing about, like, we do look good together, next to each other. And yeah, so they go to the Mun character's place, and, she's putting up barriers, understandably. And I love Bryce going, dig the Doomsday Prepper vibe. And the thing with, like, knocking on the glass, what makes you think I'm going to let you in? I'm kidding. And, Kitten is still not super happy. Cat is still not happy about it, but doesn't seem to have a choice in the matter. And yeah, I really appreciated Bryce, pointing out, as is, very true. That is what both polls say, and I can speak from personal experience. I agree. I've also heard other guys say the same. Women want a guy who listens, And I think, yeah, I think Bryce might be onto something. It's going to be an uphill battle getting Monkey back on the killing track, because he has not really found anyone super nice to him since leaving the tribe other than her, and this might be the antidote. So that's and to be clear, I'm not saying, oh, it's, women have to like soothe men so that men don't do something awful. No, we need to improve the culture for a lot of men that yeah, says that violence is okay and anger is the only acceptable emotion, these kinds of things. I guess that does lead nicely to briefly, yeah, so the video Christian marriage advice on TikTok is God Awful by the Antibot, with her husband Drew, the genetically modified skeptic, which in part goes into that. Anyway, I think that does bring us to the I hope to see more Yuki. I hope at some point Monkey will feel the need for an ally. I wouldn't rule out that there's going to be some other super-powered enemy that he might need help with, like that. And right, that was also really funny when he's like, "Oh wow, you're like a ghost, but people can see you, and you have superpowers. How do you get those? Is there a special place I have to like apply or something? Because like, I could dig with it. And also the part with like, okay, technically both of us are in that picture. They just can't see me because I don't show up on camera. And I suppose that does pretty much. Yeah, really looking forward to more. Probably not going to be super many days before I do another one. But for now, I will close this one out. Yeah, I really appreciate the way that, once Bryce realized he was going to have to be completely honest and a little vulnerable, maybe more than a little, again, in order to, for this to work out, he did. When describing the let's see, not subway surf, above subway surf, the road surf. He was like, when I see my baby, what do I see? Poetry, poetry in motion.